Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, and another chapter of the never-ending tank. This guy right there. It's the M2A3 Bradley with the Busk 3 armor. Chapter 16, I believe. We'll run the intro. Yeah. And we'll get right into it, okay? Okay guys, we are back and we're going to continue on the build. Last time we built our air conditioning units. Of course I only built one on camera and I did the other side because it's exactly the same parts, only left-handed instead of right. And so we got two of the same. Off camera also I decided to primer in some flat black on the front of these to get in there with some black to show some shadow and stuff like that, so that when I do paint the tank, I don't have to worry about getting in every single angle with the paint, because the black will be like, oh hey, it's a shadow, it's dark in there. And so that's what I would do. Now, hindsight being 2020, if I could go back and do this again, I would paint the inside of this black before putting the whole assembly together. I would paint the inside of each panel black. Each one of these panels, I will get the three sides on together and paint it all black and then put the face on. That's what I would do if I were doing this again, okay? But that being said, these are done. What are we doing now? Well, let's change the camera and let's look at our book. So, step 37 and 38, left and right, or sorry, right and left, whatever, same thing. Get those done and they are done. So they're done and they're done, and that's what they look like. Okay, that's what they look like all together. Okay, I have not put the little clear lens in for our tail lights yet. That's going to come later on. Okay, so that's what we got right now. And yeah, sorry, the detail is, you can't see any of the detail on there because it's black, but that'll come back when we start getting some color on there. So they would have us put them on the back of our hull. So here's our hull here, I'm going to take the top off just because it's not glued on, so I don't want to accidentally do anything funny with it. So we're just going to put that aside. So it's pretty easy to determine which one's left and right, because we're going to match the angle with our little block at the back here. And she's going to go on like this, just locate it onto those little holes. There we go. And that's where she sits. And she's going to sit like that. Okay, so this time I'm going to get my thicker glue and just put a little bit on the back here like this. I'll still use my thin, but this will just help me get it in its location for now, like so. Okay, now I'll grab my thin, get this one opened so that I can get to the edges. Hold it on here. It's a little bit tricky. And I want to be careful I don't accidentally glue on my door. I want to get in here, it's still holding it a little bit, just to make sure. That's the thing with the extra thin, is you could inadvertently have it run in between the cracks, and somehow next thing you know you're gluing your door to this thing, and you really don't want to do that. Okay, so there's that. So you're going to want to hold it in this position for a moment here. I want to test fit our other side because I've yet to do that. Just want to make sure it fits on his pegs where it belongs. And yep, he fits good, nice and tight. It's not really tight, but there's no play in it either. So I'm just going to lean this up against my Pepsi bottle here for a moment while I put some glue into this little area, like so. Grab this again. got them lined up. There we go. Okay. And again, some thin in there. And turn them around so I can see. Open the door. Because I want to get into that little area there. I'm just going to hold on to them like this so that I can get in there with the glue brush and go right along there. And there we go. Close our door. Okay, I'm going to set this down, and I'm just going to have it leaning up against my, again, against my Pepsi bottle for a moment. Let that glue dry a little bit. Close this up, because I don't use this very often. And that's it for step 39. So, flip our book. Boink! And now we're working on our side skirts. Side skirt day. It's skirt day today. So, one thing I've already done is I've already pulled C8 off of the sprue. I've also done C7. These are already loose, okay? I took these off because I wanted to see how they're going to fit on the sides. In doing that, I wound up having to clean up a lot of ejector pin marks. As you can see as I turn this around, see all these little marks here and here and here and here and all the couple of spots along there. Lots of ejector pins to clean up. Sanded them all down so it's all nice and smooth. Well, it's not perfectly smooth, but it doesn't have to be. It's all just enough that it's going to be, you know, it's going to fit proper. So, I'm going to take a few parts off of, let's see, which one is this? This is our C8. We're going to work on that one first. Okay? So, we need a couple of pieces. We need something off our R's and our Q's. Q's and R's. Well, here's my R. Here's my R. And I'm going to need J also and E. Wow, I need lots of them. Here's my Q. And my J's. Oh, and my E's right at the top. Right, just sitting on top of each other. That's awesome. Okay, so let's start with Q. What do I need off my Q tree? Well, I need to make sure I don't drop this thing. I think this is probably sit long enough. I can probably sit it down, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I want to keep it. I'm going to put this behind me and lean it up here against something so that it sits without me accidentally knocking it over. Let's just do that. There we go. Okay. Alright. So I need Q14. Let me change my glasses because it's hard for me to go from looking at things far away to suddenly I gotta focus on a small number on the sprue. Q14. There's 5, 11, 10, 14. This guy here. Which tells me I'm going to need 13 for the other side. And let's get that nub off of there. I'll clean these up in a minute after I get them all off the thing. Okay, so that's it for Q. I need R19. Here's R19. And in similar fashion, I'm going to need 20 for the other side. Okay. Here's R19. What do I need now? I need J24. Now they're telling me I should put that on first. That's what that one in the square there is. And I'll have to go back to Q. I'm going to need my Q number 1. But let's get J24 off of here. Let's find that. 24. Right here. J24. Bing. And then, let me go back to Q here. Q number 1. I need Q1. Q number 1. This great big long guy. I'm really surprised there's no ejector pins on the inside of that. That seems to be par for the course with this kit. It's lots of ejector pins. Okay, so we're talking about putting a bunch of decals along here on Q1, but again, decals are going to be like the last thing I do almost. Let's switch over to this. Let's just no, I want to get these parts off of here. So I need E34 and 35 and 36. No, it's J. E34 and 35. This is 34. 34 has all the holes in it. Okay, and 35 has 0 holes in it. And there we go. And that looks like that's it for my E tree. E is done. And then I need J36. This guy here. Okay, so is that it? No, I need B7. I forgot my B tree. B7. The first one on here. I wonder if it's got ejector pins on the inside. I'm gonna find out in a second. And, oh, just one, but it's not bad. Okay, so there's all our parts. All our parts for step 40. I'm gonna get these cleaned up and we'll come back in a bit, okay? So, parts are all cleaned up. So I'm gonna take a sip of my Pepsi. And we're gonna start installing things. So first thing we're supposed to do is put on J24, our little wire thing. And they say to go right here into these two little holes. So it's got two little pegs that stick out. Let's see if I can get him lined up on here. Pretty close to lined up. There we go. A little glue on those pegs. And just make sure they're in their holes. So that one, when that one went in, this one popped out. There we go. Okay. And so the next thing we're supposed to do is take Q1 and install it. And let's see, it looks like I've already got it in the orientation it's supposed to. And that's supposed to go on, this peg here should be lined up with this hole. Like so. So I just want to make sure it is sitting flush. Yeah. So it kind of doesn't quite sit flat on there because of the detail on here. It doesn't quite sit flat, and there's nothing really to guide it at the back except, I guess, it just sits like this. There's no pins or anything at the back, but that kind of sucks. They just have this little bar here, and that's it, literally. So, okay, fine. I feel like people watch stuff like this to relax, so typing is hard work. Well, maybe that's true. That could be true. But you know, I do see other guys who do this same stuff on their channel, and they get people talking in there. My channel just seems to be silent. Except for now, so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then, you know, it also tells me I actually do have somebody watching me. Because when it's dead silent, you know, I really have no idea until the stream is finished and I get the little email telling me what my summary is, and then I see. Okay, so that's in. Q1 is on, and we're going to take Q14 here. This guy, he's got a little peg sticking out that's going to go into that little hole there. just like that. So just make sure he's flat on there. Okay, there we go. A little bit of glue on him. Get down in there too. All right. So he's installed. And then we'll take R19 at the back here. Put him on. A little glue on there. Kind of go around to the other edge here. There we go. Okay, R19 is on. So that's this step finished. So we can go to this step now. They're not telling me any orientation. It looks like I missed a piece. B8. I gotta get B8. Where'd my B go? B, 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 B. Here we go. B8. This big, long, flat piece here. And I forgot to hit that. Crap. Forgot my timer. Okay. Quickly get this cleaned up. B8 has some ejector pins on it that I'm going to have to clean. That side's clean. Okay, B8 has a couple of ejector pins that need to be trimmed away. Okay. Now B8, they have it going like this with these little tabs in this direction. It looks like he just goes straight down onto here. Simple enough, I guess. Okay. Do that. Glue along there and there and there. And do this edge. That. Okay. And see if I can get a little bit on this edge too. In the middle. Okay, so B8 is on. Now we're going to take B7 and put B7 on top of B8. And our flat edge is going to go in flush with this, with our Q1. And our detailed edge is going to go on this side here. And it goes in just like that. Is it just like, oh, it's a tight fit. Look at that. That's nice and tight. Tight like a tiger. Alright. Glue this edge. Glue that edge. And we'll put some glue along our... is this the top edge, I guess? Yes, it's the top edge. There we go. Just hold on to that and squeeze for a sec. I can't get down into this edge to glue it, so I'm just going to have to rely on these three edges being glued on to hold this thing in. But it should be okay. Is it just me, or are they actually two different shades of beige? Is the camera picking that up? It looks like it's two different shades. The two different sprues are not exactly the same shade. That's crazy. Good thing we're painting it, right? Okay. We have this guy going on the very end here. This is our J36. He's going to go on the end, just like that. And I'm not sure what kind of contact I'm getting in on the back side here, but I guess we'll find out. That's what the extra thin is all about, the extra thin glue. It just finds, you know, with its capillary action, it just finds places to run into and stick. So I'll just hold that for a second, let that get nice and flush up against our big side piece. Recently I've seen some guys on Facebook group talking about the Tamiya Extra Thin and how it does not work for them. And then the basic consensus is, if Tamiya Extra Thin doesn't work for you, then you're using it wrong. And I kind of have to agree with that. As you can see, with my prolific use of the Tamiya Extra Thin, it seems to be working fine for me. Yeah, okay. So E34, like I said when I took it off the sprue, E34 is the one that's got the holes in it. It's going to go down here. You've got a couple of pegs that are going to go into these holes. Just like so. But I think we can get away with putting 35 onto 34 first. And here's where those holes come in, because that's going to help you line the two up. So let's just do this. Run some glue along their edges. Okay. Now, so those two are together. Now we can put this together on here. There we go. And since I've got holes to go through, I can just glue it from this side. And it looks like I don't have very much contact along this edge, but it's close, so I'll run some glue along there so that I'm not just relying on the pegs holding it. And that's it. And there's our assembly. Step 40. Finished. Yeah, step 40. So I got to do it again for the other side. Alright. So, let's get those off the sprue. This is one of the things, normally the lefts and rights, you know, I don't show you guys both sides, but this went together fairly quickly. So, today, I'll show you both sides. Why not? Okay. So, I need J24 and 36. Now, is it this one that I have to? Yeah, 36. So I got to grab my other J sprue. I'm going to start with this piece here. J36 is this guy. '24 was our little arm, our little, I don't know what you would call it, a strap. It's like a little grab bar of some sort. I don't know. I'm not sure what the purpose of it is on a side skirt of a tank. Okay, next. Our R tree, we needed R20. Anything else on the R's? I don't think so. Nope. Nope, that's it for R. B. B9 and 10. So last things on our B sprue. Okay, it's those. That's it for B. And then we got Q. Q13. Q13 is right here. Okay, now something we have to get for this side that we didn't for the other side is a couple pieces off our C tree. C16 and 17. Where's my C? 16 and 17, these two here. These are the ones that are different. Alright. I think that's it. Okay, so we'll get these cleaned up and we'll come back in a minute at 5. So, all the parts are clean. We've got everything cleaned up, so let's put these on in the same fashion that we put on the other side. So we're going to start with our little handle piece here, if I can actually pick it up. Make sure I got the pegs in the right orientation. And he goes into these little dots here. Hey, what are you doing? Like that. Okay. Just kind of make sure he's pressed down in there. Yep. Okay. So that's him. He's done. We're supposed to do that step 1. Step 2 is Q12. Oh, where's my Q12? I missed this one. Sorry. I really am trying to get as much done as I can in the next I got about half an hour. Okay, so Q12 has to go in this way. And it's going to line up in the same fashion as the other side. Just like so. So, glue here. Glue along here. Holding it in spot. Let's put a little glue along the middle here. Now to the back. There's not much really anything that it touches on the back here. It feels like they've got maybe something right in here I could glue, but I think it's good enough the way it's sitting. This seems to be, yeah, not touching anything. So, yeah. There we go. So Q12 is in. Okay, Q13, this little guy, I'm actually going to put some glue along the back edge of it here first, right in there, and then drop him in. As I found, once it's in, it's kind of hard to get glue in there. Still want to add more when it's all done, but the way it sits. Now I notice this side is not really straight. I want to see if I can get this one angled a little bit better. I know the glue is practically set up and hardened, but this one seems a little crooked. This one's nice and straight. I'll just have to live with it. Similar deal with R20 going in the back there. Again, I want to just put a little glue there, right there, put them down. It helps to hold it in spot too. Kind of sits flush all on his own. There we go. Okay, so this little section is done. So we're going to move over to this section. We can put our J36 on the back. No, we can't. We're not going to do that. We got to do this guy first. And this guy's going to go in the same spot as the other side, just like so. So let's start here. Run some glue along this edge. This really is just like a bracket. Now, technically, you could put this piece and this piece together first and then drop them down. I don't think that's going to make any difference at all if you do it in that order. What is going to make a difference is this front edge wants to lift up, so I'm going to put a clamp on it just to hold it in place and keep that down and flush, because it doesn't really want to sit. It doesn't want to sit down, so just use a clamp to help it along a little bit. Finally get some glue at the back here. There we go. Okay. It's just not really sitting flush. Not really flat on there. It could be I've got a nub that is not cooperating, but then this guy goes on top. Again, a tight fit, just like the other side. Very tight fit. And I'm going to use a little bit stronger clamp to put these two together. Hold that down. Like so. There we go. And pick some strategic spots for glue. Now at the back wants to lift a little bit, so I'll use this clamp to help. My little clamps, they don't clamp that hard at all, but it doesn't have to. It's just going to prevent it from lifting up while the glue sets. And once again, I can't get in there with glue, so I could have run a little bit of a bead of the thicker glue on there, and that would have worked too, but we're going to let this sit for a second while we put our two C16s and 17 together. Line up our pegs. There we go. Just like that. Now there's a couple of ejector pins here and here, but they're only sticking out about maybe 1/2 millimeter, and they're not going to affect how it fits. The flashing on here will, though. There's a bunch of flashing on this piece. Right there. That's not very pretty. And then right along this seam. There we go. Okay, let's put these back together. I'm actually going to grab another clamp. Why? Because then I don't have to worry about my fingers getting glue on them. These clamps are great, but for tight stuff like this, they don't hold strong enough. I've got different clamps, all kinds of different sizes and things like that. This will hold it nice and tight. just not exactly where I want it to hold. See, I put it on this edge and this comes apart. I put it over here and this, now the front comes apart. So it's like any way I look at it, I put it on this edge and this comes apart. Like, come on, man. I gotta put 2 clamps on here now? Fine, I'll put 2 clamps. Let's see, how can I do this? That works. Or does it? Oh, you know what the problem is? The reason it's doing that is the ejector pin right there. Let's clean that up. File this thing down flat. There. Made short work of that. That's considerably better. Okay, let's put some glue on this finally, okay? Shut up and glue it already. Okay, so let that do its thing. Now this has had enough time to... We can put this on here. On our end, that's our J36 going onto the end here. Alright, I can take the clamp off of this one now. Yeah, she's glued on good and solid. Put her clamps away. Alrighty. This has had plenty of time to do its thing. Now, something that is a little unfortunate, I wound up getting glue underneath the clamp. And what happens is the glue gets under the clamp and it softens the plastic and leaves a big mark in it. I'm going to call that, you know, just some damage that while it was getting used. Our little peg for the front doesn't really want to go in the hole, and it looks like there's, because we've got a little bit of flashing in that hole. So open that up a bit and suddenly that peg fits perfectly. And this one actually fits nicely, almost flat right against that, our other piece. So I'm going to glue it right along that edge, where I did not on the other side. This side they have a gap, a visible gap here. This side there's no gap. But of course our two sides look different. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense that they look different. I'll put glue here and here. And there we go. There's our two sides, guys. Doink. Left and right. So that's those two steps. Step 40 and 41 done. So let's put these aside because we're not putting them on yet. We're going to have a look at step 42. Step 42, let's see here. Additional armor module for the glacis and a headlight assembly. Alright. Let's start with the easy things. The armor pieces off our Q tree. Q6 and 7. This is 6. And this bigger one is 7. There's number 6. And here's number 7. And then we need R, 15 and 16. Where'd my R go? R go? I need 15 and 16. That's these two guys here. Right? Yes, this is 15. It's kind of hard to recognize it with all these little nubs on it. And of course, in the pictures, they don't look like they're hollow. They look like solid pieces. Okay. Do I need my R at all? I'm going to need the R, so I'll just put it here. So we got lots of little nubs to clean up here. But doink, 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 doink. There should not be anything sticking out. These lines, these bars should be flat. Like that. Same with this piece. No nubs sticking out. Everything should be flush. Okay, so I'm going to spend a little time cleaning these two pieces up, or these four pieces, sorry. Alright, so okay, so these four are clean, so let's get these assembled here. So let's start with Q7 and his counterpart R15. Let's put this in this orientation. It doesn't look, well, there actually is a front and a rear. So you got little tabs that stick out on this side and none on this side. And then, so in theory, it's just going to line up in here. In theory, I say theory, but I don't know for sure. It doesn't really... Does it just fit inside? We got two pegs that sit here, but there's nothing on these indicating exactly where it's supposed to sit. So I'm just going to guess and have it like that. Okay, sure. I don't like guessing when it comes to assembling these parts. I prefer something that's going to give me a little bit more reassurance. Okay, so that's how I've got it sitting. Okay, that's my alignment. That's what I've done with it. Okay. So yeah, and I will do these ones. Similar thing, three little things at the back, and I missed. Gotta clean up that note a little better. There we go. Okay. there's not a lot of contact points. This one's got a little bit more contact point on the front than the other side does, the bigger one, but it's really not a lot. And so I've kind of lined this one up the same way, just like that. That's how I've lined this one up. Okay, just so you guys have a reference, either the right way or the wrong way to do it. Okay, so let's assemble these two parts and our headlight assemblies. I don't know what R10, R21 and Q10 are. R21 is this guy here. And that leaves only one part left on our R tree. Only one part left. And then we want Q10. Q10 has three nice little nub balls to get off of it. We're going to need some parts off of our J tree. J10 and 16 times 2. So I want number 10. Well, here's 16. Okay. And I want 10. Where's my 10? Oh, way down here. Okay. And we need that twice. So here's the other 16. And the other 10. Alright. And then we need H. H23. Crash. 23 and 21. Oh, this is down here on these funny ones? Nope. Oh, over here. 21. Okay. And 23. Alright. So, once again, I'll spend some time cleaning these up and we'll come back. Okay, so our parts are cleaned up. Let's get these assembled. We're going to start with R21 and Q10, like this. This is just a repeat of like the other pieces. Except this one, yeah, we want it like this. And I don't know if it's actually supposed to stick out or if it's supposed to be lined up. It feels like, yeah, that notched in pretty good like that. Which almost tells me, see, these have the same little notch, so that maybe I have these installed wrong too. Almost like maybe these little tabs that stick out on this bottom piece, here, 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 and here. So if I have this lined up like this, it kind of creates a tab at the back of this, sticking out just a little bit. But it lines up perfectly at the front. And that's not the case on these other ones. I won't know till the next page and how they're supposed to, you know, be attached. Whether I've totally done these other two ones wrong or what. In fact, before my glue has had too much time to dry, I want to check it out. So let's just move these off and have a look. Where do those pieces go on? It goes on the front there. So let's grab our hull and see how these go on. Our smaller one, which side is front? It goes like this. So we got alignment holes that are supposed to line up there, there. I don't think it really matters too much. It's not going to matter. It's just going to sit like that. He actually doesn't have any pegs at all, and it's just sit him on there. There's nothing lining him up, so it's just, yeah, put it in a spot that you feel comfortable. Really, there's nothing to align it at all. This guy, on the other hand, has his two pegs that are going to go into those holes. Remember, these are the holes we drilled out on the edges. So now we know exactly why, and it was to line these guys up. These guys are going to line up into those holes. So then, this guy goes here, like that. And then our center one, he just kind of drops down, and we're just going to space him out evenly in between them and be like that. And that's what we're going to do. Alright? So, that's the way they go. Let's put this back down over here. Out of the way and out of danger. And continue with our headlight assemblies. So let's grab this guy here, H21. So he's ready for some stuff. Or is he? Yeah, he is. Okay. We'll get these guys put together and then I gotta get going. So we're gonna start with, we've got J10 and J16. These guys. J10 goes up top into the top corner here, and J16 goes down on the bottom. So this guy is going to go in right up in there, like so, and then this guy goes down in the bottom, like that. I had it good. He was good. And then I screwed it up. So, let's get some glue. I like to put it right in there and fill that little pocket up. And he fits nicely. So now it's just a matter of making sure he's straight up and down and not at a funny angle. Pretty much straight, yeah. And I'll take a little glue and put on this spot here, fill up that little cavity. The reason I fill it up is so that it, oh, okay, I'll go hunting for him in a minute. So that the glue doesn't evaporate on me. But because this one took a second, I'm going to have to apply a little more glue. I'll just put a little bit more in there. Okay, so that's that one done. Now I've got to go hunting for that piece that fell. And hopefully he didn't fall into the void and disappear forever. He's a little small, so I'm going to grab a flashlight. Oh, I see him. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, look at my face. There we go. Alright, so that's this guy here. This is our H23. And it's kind of the opposite. So our J10 is going to go into the upper right hand corner. Let's put my glasses back on here. Bing. Put him in a spot just like that. Press down just to make sure. There we go. And then let's flip you over so that I can get at your parts. There we go. Okay, glue again into that little doink. We don't need carpet hair on you. Carpet hair is not part of the deal. Neither is flying off. Okay, so he's in a spot, but I need to, you know, when the glue has had a minute to dry, it doesn't hold nearly as strong, and we want strong bond, so glue there and there. There we go. Okay, there's our two headlight assemblies. If I stop covering them with my fingers, you might be able to see. That's how they look. Alrighty. Now, once again, I'm not going to put in clear lenses until everything's all done. But we can paint them. I got clear orange and silver is what they're supposed to be. Well, I could do chrome too. It won't really matter. What I might actually do is put chrome on the inside of the bucket and then just put clear lens on it. And that would give me the exact same effect. But T2, those are supposed to be the clear orange. Okay. So I'll do the same thing that I did with our tail lights. I'll paint them, but I'll leave them on the sprue until we're all ready to go. Get out of my chat, bot. And that is going to be it for step 42. Put these aside. Step 43 would be attaching these 5. And this is nice. They show some parts here, D5 and R15. They show them. Why are they showing that? D5 and R15. We didn't assemble that. Where's my D and R? R is done. What's D5? Where's my D? I don't have my D. My D's gone. I grabbed my D for the last time in the last video. Oh, you know what it is? D5. D5 is the hood. If we go back, D5. D5 is the hood, right? Back in step 30 is D5. And so they're showing you R15 how they want you to line it all up onto D5. So they're showing you R15 without the armor on it and how to line it up on here. There actually is a spot to line it up. It does kind of line up and lock in. So I was putting it in the wrong spot. It's because we have pegs here, here. It's hard to tell on the camera when it doesn't focus, but here and here, here and here, they kind of lock into these little channels. And so if we line it up, now it locks in and it doesn't move. Just like that. What's going to be difficult is if I glue these on now, how do I get paint in between there? How do I get this painted with that on there? At the same time though, does it really matter? Because are you going to see in there when this is on, there? And I put this on. If I just put that in a spot. Now, yeah, I can see in there a little bit, and I would prefer to have that painted. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray a little black primer in around the perimeter in these areas, and I'll spray black primer on the inside of this, and then we'll glue them down next time. Okay, so that is where we're going to leave it. It's nice. We're finally going to get into the turret next time. because gluing these parts on is not going to take very much time at all. And in fact, I could actually, before I take off, let's do this. Our lights get glued to the tops of these armors. Not the middle one, but to these. So this guy and this guy get glued together. And it goes like this. And just kind of sits like that. Is that correct? Or am I losing it here? I think maybe I'm losing it here. See, it wants to be crooked. It doesn't sit right. He's got this little notch, but that doesn't align with anything. It kind of aligns with a little notch right here, but then this other side, it doesn't line up at all. And it makes the light very crooked if I put him down like that. Oh, because he's kind of needs to be spread apart a little bit. Or, yeah, he doesn't really sit because of this little, okay, see that sticking up right there? That little ridge? That little ridge right there is preventing the light from sitting down flush on it. And if I do this and just kind of slide it up on it, it kind of does it, but not really. So what I'm going to do is, because it's a detail that's kind of not really that important, I'm just going to slice this off. Kind of flush. And now my light sits flat without any interference. And so I'll glue that down. There we go. And that's that light bucket. Okay. That one. Now our other side is going to go in this little corner here. And we'll see how he fits. He also has that little bit of a edge to him right there. Now this guy fits no problem. No problem with this guy. The problem is me getting to hold it on one-handed while I get glue on there. That's the hardest part. Holding stuff one-handed. Okay. And there's our left-hand light assembly. He's flat. He's good. There we go. Okay. And that's that. So this is where I'm going to leave it for today. I'm going to let this dry. And like I said, I'll get in there. I'll do a little bit of black primer spraying in there, just in preparation for those parts to go on. We'll get those parts glued on next time, and then we can start on the turret, finally doing something other than hull armor pieces, which it seems like for the last 3 or 4 episodes anyway, has been nothing but hull armor. But now that my side skirts are finished, I can really make the determination as to whether I'm going to attach them to the top of the hull or the bottom. I'm leaning towards the top. Is what I'm doing. Right now I'm leaning towards gluing them to the top of the hull. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Which means also I need to prime and paint this side, otherwise it looks really stupid. Suddenly if we got beige armor on the underside, you pull the hull up and it's beige, and that's going to look dumb, right? And that's another thing to consider when you're doing something like what I'm doing, where I'm going to leave that permanently able to come apart. How's that going to look when you pull it apart, right? I'm having to paint parts that I wouldn't normally have to paint. I wouldn't normally worry about what it looks like on the inside because it would be glued on there and you don't ever see it. So by making this whole piece removable, suddenly you're going to see the inside of this, right? So yeah, you understand what I mean, right? So yeah, looks like I've got some priming in my future. And yeah, so that's where we're going to leave it for today, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for the chat. Finally, somebody chatted in my chat. Anyway, like I've mentioned before, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube, I really would appreciate it if you did that and help my channel grow. Hit the like button and check out the description box for a few links that I have in there. And thank you for the support, and we'll see you all in the next one.